The paper of the day is How to Wring a Table Dry, Entropy Compression of Relations and Querying of Compressed Relations. It's a 2006 paper. Let's look at the summary. Compression is a promising approach to deal with the data movement bottleneck. Paper develops a notion of entropy for relations and described a method to compress relations to within 4.3 bits per tuple of the entropy. This results in up to a compression factor of up to 40 on TPC-H data, much better than reported in prior literature. They have also developed techniques for efficient scans with selection and projection over relations compressed with this method. Looking at the experiments, authors implemented their own compression method in a prototype system called CSV-Zip. CSV-Zip currently supports the compression of relations loaded from comma-separated value files, that is CSV files, and table scan with selection, projection, and aggregation. Paper uses 3 data sets in their experiments. The first one is TPC-H views. They chose a variety of projections of line item X, order X, part X customers that are appropriate for answering TPC-H queries. Their physical design philosophy, like C-Store, is to have number of highly compressed materialized views appropriate for the query workload. Now, second, TPC-E customer. They tested using around 650K records of randomly generated data produced per the TPC-E specification. This file contains many skewed data columns but little correlation other than gender being predicted by first name. Third, SAP/R3. They tested using projections of a table from SAP having 50 columns and around 236,000 rows. There is a lot of correlation between the columns, causing the delta code savings to be much larger than usual. Now let's look at the contributions. Paper defines a notion of entropy for relations and proved that their method is near optimal under this notion, in that it asymptotically compresses a relation to within 4.3 bits per tuple of its entropy. Authors have prototyped this method in a system called CSV-Zip for compression and querying of relational data. They report on experiment with CSV-Zip over datasets from TPC-H, TPC-E, and SAP/R3. They obtain compression factors from 7 to 40, substantially better than what is obtained with Z-Zip or with domain coding. Also much better than what others have reported earlier. Now let's give this paper a PS score. Overall, it's very bumpy read with some super dense parts because of code and math, so it gets 4 out of 10 on readability. With 12 pages long, it scores 8 out of 10 on length. Reproducibility and repeatability will be challenging, so it gets 5 out of 10. Industry value and learning meter is not yet proven, so it gets 6 out of 10 on each. Overall PS score is 6 out of 10.